Hello friends, welcome back to our channel UiPath by Sujitha. In this video, we are going to learn about Property Explorer. In our previous video, we have seen the different panels which are available in UiExplorer, right? Properties panel is one among them. Let me show you in deep about this usage with a demo. Please quickly take a notebook and pen and make a note of at least the key highlights of this, whatever you are going to learn, so that it will be easy for you to refer it again whenever it is needed. Property Explorer. So this is a panel in UiExplorer, right? So what it will be showing, it displays all the attributes which are related to a specific UI element object, including the ones which are not in the part of the selector, right? In the right hand side you could see a selector editor, right? I'll let you show in studio. So let us go to any of these selectors. And just open UiExplorer. So since that it has selected an element, so in right hand side here you could see the attributes which are relevant, which are there in the current node, right, in the selector. Whereas the Property Explorer will displays all the relevant attributes which the selector can have, right? Selector in the sense which the UI element, the selected UI element object can hold. Okay, let us make a quick note of this. Displays all the relevant attributes which the specific UI element object can have, right? Okay, including the ones which are not visible in the selector, right? So this is what Property Explorer is useful. Let me show you quickly in the UiExplorer here. Let me go back to our okay, let me validate this. Okay, fine. Now let me open our RPA challenge where we can fine-tune this part. Let me open this Explorer and let me indicate the element. Say for example, I am going to indicate the last name. Okay. Now let us see here. So the attributes which are related to this particular node being displayed here in the selected items at our right hand side, right? But the Property Explorer, let me, okay. See, if you could see the Property Explorer, it is displaying all the attributes which are related to the specific selected UI element, including the parent class, position, ID, foreground, everything, all the available attributes being there. So what is the usage of this? If we don't know what and all attributes are available, we may not be in a position to edit, to fine-tune the selector, right? To make it dynamic, or maybe to perform some, to include some logical rules and all, right? Say for example, let us go to the RPA challenge. Here, if you see here, the start button is there. So if I have a business rule saying this particular form needs to be filled with particular data if it is in a start mode, right? and when I click on start, if you could see this been changed, the what to say, the position of each attribute, each element being changed, right? And there is a business rule, when this button shows as round 1, some other data needs to be used here, and if it is in round 2, maybe something else needs to be changed, right? Based on this particular data, I am going to perform some logic on the data, what I am going to fill here using this one, round 1 or start and all, right? So in this aspect, we could use this property explorer in order to understand what and all attributes are available, on which attribute we can perform this logic, right? So if you could see here, let me see the state. If it is said as a state is enabled. If I say that, if I can use, there are multiple, let me show you this. In UiPath Studio, we have multiple activities to get the attribute value or to set the attribute values. If you use the set attribute value, set web attribute, right? So I can indicate this element on screen. Let me show you how to use this. I can indicate this element on screen so that I can set the attribute to disabled. Got my point? So the state here says enabled, right? So instead of enabled, I can disable the state. So in order to fine tune this kind of logics, we should know about the values of each attribute to that particular element, along with how many attributes are available to the specific element. Without knowing that, we may not perform the logic, right? So this kind of business logical implementations in these scenarios, this property explorer is very much useful, right? I hope you got my point. So similarly, we have something called get attribute. To get the value of attribute, we can use get attribute as well. Okay, so we can get the value of the attribute, and based on the attributes value, we can perform some logic, some business logic. Also, when it is needed, we can set the attributes value, right? In order to use these kind of business logics, we should be aware of what and all being the properties, what and all being the available attributes, right? So that is the main use of property explorer. So I hope you got a clear understanding on this property explorer, right? So let me show you a demo. Okay, now I could just use, say here I just used some last name, right? Instead of that, let us work on the same start button. Okay, let me go back to this RPA challenge. Let me refresh this page and let me show you a simple demo. Let me indicate the element. Here it is a start. Okay, so now if you could see here, the AA name is start, right? So instead I can use what I can use the get attribute value, get attribute activity, right? In here I used this get attribute value. So I can use this get attribute activity in order to read this value. If it is start, I am going to use a set of data to fill this form, right? Understood? And that is going to be my logic. And if suppose the AA name equals to round 1, I am going to pass some other set of data to fill this form. So that is how we can use this. So now I don't know this AA name. Now I am going to use some other attribute because I am not aware of this. Now I want to know, go via some other attribute. So in that case, we can just use this property explorer where I can see this AA name a state we can enable or disable. So this is how we can use this. So I hope you got a clear understanding on this property explorer, and when you start working with this you will come to know in detail about the usage. Okay, fine. So this kind of information is enough for now. So let us use some more use cases in depth from full-fledged end-to-end kind of practice sessions in our next videos. Thank you so much so far for your support, and if you like these videos, please give a like and share with your friends and colleagues too. Please do subscribe and select the all option in bell icon for more videos. Thank you so much. Let us meet through our next videos. Till then, happy learning and happy automating. Bye bye.